Welcome to episode number 5 of my overland van life safari van build. And big things are happening today. Not literally today, but today. So I've already done a lot of things to this to be ready to go with the lift. Oh yeah, I'm installing my lift today. I've already done quite a few things to be prepared. I'm about to do some more, so I'm going to do a little rundown of everything I've done so far, what I'm about to do, and then I'll get into the lift. Okay, as you see, a lot has come off the front here. I'll get around to telling you more about that in a second. I have my battery out. I have a fresh replacement battery that I just bought earlier today, but obviously that needs to be replaced. The battery tray seems like a common failure point from reading online, but I'll probably at least start with just putting a battery on top of that tray and giving her. But I gotta clean out all these leaves. I took off the fan shroud, upper and lower. The air box that was right here is gone. That's essentially it. These are all the things I've taken off. I got the bumper cover. This is the grill. It's upside down, but it's clearly the grill. You can see the logo. That's the upper fan shroud. The air box, now in 2 pieces. And then those are little trim lights, or trim panels that go just below the lights. And the lights are up here in my garbage pile. That's the lower fan shroud. This is on my tonight to-do list. I'm basically have to trim about 2 inches of plastic off of here. Something like this needs to be gone. Essentially, well, I can't really do this one-handed, but essentially I need to clearance about 2 inches here, so that when this gets lowered in here, it doesn't interfere with the fan, because currently it would sit below it, but when the motor gets dropped in relation to the radiator, it's going to screw things up, so I got to trim it. Yes, that's on my to-do list, but you can see the front. Everything's all off. I got the bumper brackets off. Those are going to get the extension. And over here, I don't know why you can see it, but that's the bumper. Bumper's off. There you go. We got a bumper bracket here. Essentially, this fits like this, although probably, or potentially even the other side. Well, basically, in the lift kit, I got extension brackets. It's going to lift it up here, because this gap is going to now be 3 inches once the body pucks go in between this frame rail and the body. Anyways, that's more or less everything I've done so far. I'm basically ready to start the lift. Down here somewhere, I don't really know if I can tell or see. Anyway, somewhere down here is the steering box, which is the first thing I got to undo to add the extension that I showed you in my last video. That's step 1, and then I just give her with the lift. But I'm going to wait till Saturday. Yeah, ideally, that's the plan. Saturday. Hold on a second. Sorry, I keep thinking that every time I'm talking, I'm just rambling. I'm like, oh, I should be filming myself right now as I do this. But anyways, the plan is Saturday. Weather looks okay. And unless it's pouring down rain, I'm just going to start. So I got one thing I'm going to do. I got some PB blaster here. So I'm going to take advantage of my last little bit of daylight here on, I think it's Wednesday today. Take advantage of my last little bit of daylight and spray everything with PB blasters so the nuts and bolts come off easily, or slightly easier than they would. Anyways, I'm going to go do that now. Hear my dog whining at me. Anyways, I'm going to spray it. And next time you see me, I'll probably be on my GoPro, and big things will be happening. Okay, so things are happening. I got step-by-step instructions by Journeys Off-Road. and I've essentially done the first page, sort of, except now I have to do the spacers. So I'm going to start with doing the spacers, but I'll quickly show you everything I've done first. So I undid this power steering reservoir because it's going to have to be reconnected with this bolt, and then I'll drill a hole and put a screw in it right there. All this is off, shroud's out. I actually cut the shroud last night, so it should be good to go to get put in. And this thing down here is the steering shaft. And this is where my extension's going to go. It connects right there to the steering box. Anyways, it's disconnected. I'm essentially ready to go, so I'm just gonna give her. I'm gonna give her on these. Okay, so I have loosened all that side, the driver's side bolts, and now I'm gonna undo all these and take them out and jack up the body. So that's that. I just gotta add some bolts and tighten them down, but not tight, because I gotta do the other side. Okay, so the front is now done. I'll show you that. It's not really done. I have all my blocks in. They were kind of a pain, just trying to get them threaded and stuff, but overall it was relatively easy. I'm not gonna finish the front with like bumper brackets, and I know in here I'm gonna have to do some work. This is rubbing right here. It's rubbing, it's gonna have to be bent out of the way. I'm gonna have to re-drill some holes there. But I'm gonna go work on the rear. I'm gonna go work on the rear now, because if it does start to rain, I wanna not have to lay on the ground, so I can finish like the bumper stuff in the engine bay in the rain under cover, but I don't want to lay on the ground. Like, that sounds like a real bummer. So anyways, I'm gonna go hit it at the rear. I already got it jacked up, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so this kind of sucks. I'm working on the rear, and I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see, but I got these bolts undone ×2. This one's undone. I'm cutting these out currently, which is a fucking nightmare. It's been pretty brutal, slow going. It's also raining on me, so I put this up, but I'm honestly not really having a good time, and I don't really see me finishing this today. It's gonna get dark on me here soon, and at worst I'm gonna have to put away the camera and work in the dark, but I might call it quits. I also have dinner coming for me from Cactus Club, because I helped somebody move earlier today. That's 6:10 approximately, so I think that might be the time I shut it down and just start again. But I would honestly like to get this one side done, because all the bolts at the back are undone. It's just that one bolt that hasn't been cut that's driving me nuts. I've been shaking myself to shit with the Sawzall, Anyways, you can tell I'm miserable. I'm miserable. Okay, so we have progress, but a lack of progress on the van. I'm going to show you what I've done here. I'm well aware that I haven't really filmed much, but there's just not really a lot of room down there, and I'm kind of just laying in the same spot and unscrewing some bolts and sticking my fingers in the holes and then readjusting and jiggling, trying to get everything right. So it slides in, so it's uninteresting, frustrating, and it leads me to not filming as much as I want. But anyways, this is a little update. I'll show you what I've done here. So this side, the driver's side, is now in. I got the front shackle or front hanger there. I got the shock bolted in. Right here is actually where I cut the AC line that went to the back out. I should have done it before I installed it, would have been easier, but I fought around it and then cut it out. And here's the rear shackle bolted up into there. And then if I go further under here, that's the rear extended brake line. So I basically just bent this thing out, and I think I might bend it further straight. So this is even less tight, but I'll get around to that. But that's bolted in, and I relocated the diff breather. This other side has kind of been a nightmare, and it has held me up. So I'm gonna go over there and I'll show you where I've sort of stalled on my progress over there. Now when I first started, I didn't have these blocks here. So now that I've gone higher, it's actually been a lot easier to work on. So I'd recommend going as high as possible to start. So basically on this side here, this is the passenger side, but also the exhaust side. So these bolts here are loosened and undone. They're just sitting in here because frankly, actually, they can't come out with the exhaust. So I may or may not have to take that out. It says in my instructions to take it out, but I don't want to. So frankly, I think once I undo this bolt, I'll be able to pull these out on an angle and hopefully go back in on an angle, and I want to take out the exhaust. But the problem is this bolt here, my leaf spring bolt, is seized. And you can see here, I took the nut off, but I cannot for the life of me get this one. I couldn't even get it to turn. And then eventually, right before I quit, I think I got it to turn a little bit. But I'm kind of worried it wasn't really turning the bolt. It was turning either the whole bushing inside the spring or just the sleeve inside. I'm not really sure. But I sprayed the heck out of it with PB Blaster, and I'm going to hit it with a hammer and try to get it out. But the one problem is this muffler is in my way of directly hitting it with a hammer. So that leads me to, again, maybe taking that out. That's why I'm frustrated. And then the rear leaf spring, I'll get over there. But you can see, we may be able to see, the only bolt that's holding the shackle is the bolt that goes through the leaf spring. And it's seized in the same way that I can't get it out through the thing. So I'm going to have to beat on it with a hammer. But again, that has my hitch in the way. And then also, the way my exhaust hangs, I kind of think it might interfere with my new lowered leaf spring bracket. So I might have to cut it or just take it off, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet. Anyways, that's sort of where I'm at. So I'm going to start with banging on these screws with a hammer. And again, there's nowhere to really film under here, so I'll probably just hit it with a hammer and report back later. But look how nice that side looks over there. So I have moved on entirely from finishing my rear lift setup. I had to reassess. I think I needed some more parts, and I was just over it. So I'm gonna move on to finishing some stuff at the front. I have installed these lift brackets for my bumper. So now the bumper's 3 inches higher. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my bumper, my new grill. And also last night I installed a light bar that I got for my birthday into my grill. So I'll put that in. So I'll put that in when I put this all together. I'm not going to wire it, but I'm going to put it in so it's there and looking cool. And then I'm going to touch up some things in the engine bay. I just relocated this, but I have to move this out of the way. So I'm going to do that. But anyways, I'll come back after I put together the bumper. I'll start with that and see how far I get. I probably have like an hour of daylight, but it's Friday, so I might just keep working. Anyways, see you later. So I've totally wrapped up the engine bay now. I installed the steering shaft down here, extension. I put this back in. It kind of just floats here. Considering with the body lift, it just kind of sits up, but the hood does close. So I'm happy with it. I did notice I got some really, I don't know how well you can see, but these are some vacuum lines which are like disintegrating, which I think I need to replace. Well, not I think, I 100% need to replace them. And that should help something. And also, you probably can't see down there, but down there, I moved my transmission lines to the left and bent them out of the way, and then I tie wired them just to like be double sure. So that's all wrapped up. So what I'm gonna do next is take off the exhaust. I realized that where are we? There's no way these bolts are coming out up here with the exhaust in. And I'm gonna have to get a better angle to hammer here because these bolts still won't come out. But anyways, I'm gonna take this exhaust out. I'm soaking it in PB currently. I'm gonna take the exhaust out. Hope these bolts don't break. But after the exhaust is out, I'm gonna go into the front and do the front shocks and tighten up the torsion bars, just so I can procrastinate this rear a little bit longer. Because I'm not convinced those bolts are coming out without ruining the bushings. And I ordered new bushings, but they are currently in Memphis. And I live in Canada, so... Well, that's 2 broken bolts. Fuck. Shocks in. I got it done on the other side. I'm just gonna put this wheel on and crank up the torsion bars. Okay, so I tighten the torsion bars. I'm gonna lower it down and see where it looks, and then I probably won't fiddle with the adjustment until I've driven around a bit and it settles. And obviously the rear I have to finish, but it's lifted in the front. I think I'm gonna fix up the parking brake bracket, and then that's the last thing I need to do other than this whole side of the lift, which sounds easy, but it's not. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, so I am done for now. I'm gonna go take the dog for a walk, but I'm gonna show you what I've done. This is the van. It's not quite done, but the main part of the lift, so I can get the look of what it looks like. So I got little baby tires on there now, but eventually I think that's gonna look pretty fucking sick. And then this side over here is still not done. Anyways, this is for another day. But I got a lot accomplished. But I got a buddy coming into town, so I kind of got roped into having to hang out with him. So I kind of ruined my plan to keep going. But anyways, go walk the dog and maybe get back to this, but I kind of have a feeling I won't. But anyways, next time I'll update you. So I'm back under the van. I'm gonna try hammering this. I got a bigger hammer. And I hammer this. Let's see what happens. I ain't coming out. There's no way that's coming out. Fuck. And I broke my phone too. Whatever, I'm over it. I think leaf spring is going to come out, and I have to take it to a shop to get new bearings pressed in. I think. Yeah. Fuck. Okay, that's tight. Okay. So here is the situation. I will pull you off the axle here. So I'm officially quitting for now. I need more parts and a shop, frankly, before I can continue. But I took this rear axle out, or rear leaf spring out. It's over here in the pile. I'll flip this thing over. This is the nut I was just beating on, and I literally got nowhere to go. And the other side is, frankly, I'm assuming it's going to be about the same. So I'm just going to take this to a shop and get them to press it out, I think. I might hit it with the grinder. Actually, I will hit this with the grinder. I'm going to grind this out, and then I grind it out, and then it'll be easier for them to press it out both sides. I need to order a new U-bolt. Yeah, so then I'll put a new U-bolt in, leaf spring, shackles already in, put that shock on, and this will finally be good to go. But it's just substantially more difficult and time consuming than I anticipated. A lot more time consuming and difficult than I thought. And also, one other thing, while I was down there, I noticed my exhaust, because of the body lift, these rubber hangers are too short now. So it needs to be, I need to have longer ones to drop the exhaust down low, and then the exhaust, I don't know, it's gonna come out, I'm worried it's gonna come out too low if I lower all the hangers, or it's gonna interfere with the leaf spring. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. I might dump it out the side, but I'm gonna have to go to a shop for that, which is another thing I didn't really anticipate. But anyways, while I pulled the exhaust out to make room to pull the bolts out, I noticed that I had a few rust holes in this muffler. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to bother putting that back in. I might just get a new muffler with a tailpipe coming out wherever. But that's a job for another day. So today I'm done. Journeys off-road 3/5 inch Astro van / Safari van lift fail. See you next episode.